It's terrible what's happening in the Ukraine, but we have to deal with it. That's the one thing. Another thing, there are, innovative people who have bright ideas, new ideas, so they have to tell our story also. So next, we have 3 short pitches, each 3 minutes. So I would like to ask Jarvis, Responsibly, and C-Trace to come up. And then, you have 3 minutes to pitch. And you see, I don't know if you have seen what Martin Koolhoven explained with storytelling, but you have 3 minutes to explain and to pitch your story. And these are the finalists. So we with Supply Chain Media have done an analysis of over 250 supply chain startups of all over Europe. And we divided in startups, scale-ups. Please remain in, of course. So we made a huge analysis, and out of this, we got a lot of entries into the contest. Over 50 entries in the contest. So we been actually to all their pitches and all their purposes. And that's what we're going to see now. So that we have 3 finalists here pitching, and the winner will get a marketing check of 20,000 euros. So we're going to help them out to put them in the on the map all over Europe. So with this, I will get you 3 nice pitches, I hope. And you will also decide who will win. So we have a professional jury, investors, people from the supply chain, myself, who also have an assessment later on. But you will also decide who will win. I will explain later with the QR code. But first, we'll see the 3 pitches. 3 minutes. First, Jarvis. You have the microphone and then the clicker.
Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Hi. Okay. So so the least that we can say in the last year and years is that the world is full of unexpected events. We have war, we have shortages in all kinds of materials, we have a changing demand, we have COVID. So it totally changed our demand environment. So there we created Garvis to have user-trainable, transparent AI for demand planners to navigate their organizations through this turmoil and become what we think, the more strategic leaders of the future. So very nice to be here. My name is Piet Buck. I'm the CEO of Garvis. The demand planners are very important. Everything an organization does is based on the demand plan, but yet they work with tools that assume that the past will repeat itself. So we've seen that that's totally not the case. On top of that, there is tons of data available in the world that would give an indication of how the future would look. But these data are not integratable in their current environment. And on top of that, every time they want to change something in their system, they're dependent on a consultant or their solution provider. So that means, there is a lot of latency. And last of all, the fast changing customer requirements put a lot of pressure. So you would say, why don't they find it in their current system? Because most of their current systems are bought for finance, or they're bought because of the nice dashboard, but underneath they have the same technology as they can find in their Excels. So no more. So therefore we created Garvis to make the planner in charge of user-trainable AI to navigate the data of the world. The planner together with the AI in a bionic interface to navigate the data of this world, not all data, but the data that matter. So what data matter? So as a planner, you can look in the past because the past is the best image of what happened. You can see, okay, what happened? What is this peak? Was this a promotion? Was this an event? And you can communicate with your Garvis system, and the Garvis system will learn, and then when the new events will happen, then your knowledge, together with the AI, will be applied to that environment to get the better results. So, and the more you talk to your system, the more intelligent the whole environment becomes. This, on the one side, allows you to look in the past and understand that better, but on the other side, also give you the possibility to look at your incoming orders and to understand them and to see how that's going to influence your demand. So we can implement in one day. It's extremely important because that makes you free from consultants and IT to make your business case. Secondly, we provide you a language to communicate the external events in the world to your planning environment. And thirdly, it gives you the opportunity to become what we call the conversation owner. And so instead of doing these long SNOP cycles, now you can tell, okay, you think it's 100, but give me the reasons why it's 100. And if nothing has changed in your environment, then why should I accept it like it is? But AI has more possibilities. AI allows to bring the learnings from the greatest organizations to the smaller organizations. It allows you to scale, it allows you to scope. And the benefits are tremendous. You have a lot more time to react to things that you see coming, so you can have cheaper solutions, especially in these environments where there's a shortage of materials. Secondly, it goes to your bottom line. Money you can use, to protect against the fluctuation, 3 to 4 days less of inventory, but also a higher service level, and it's about keeping your customer that counts. But most important, happy planners that are the strategic people of the future, we think. Thank you very much. Vote for Garvis.
Thanks for the first pitch. And next we go to Responsibly.
Hi everyone. My name is Thomas, and I'm one of the founders of Responsibly. And we started Responsibly for a very simple purpose. We basically saw the huge impact potential that sits in global procurement, and we think this is one of the major powers for change in the world. So we wanted to unlock that. In fact, Carbon Disclosure Project estimates that up to 40% of global greenhouse gases emissions are directly or indirectly impacted by procurement. 40%, that's quite immense. And we believe this is a great time to implement sustainable supply chains. Now, Martin told me to add a little bit of drama and emotion to the presentation, right? So the world is literally burning, but in addition to that, sustainability is on the key agenda of most company strategies today, and 80% of your impact sits in the supply chain. Regulators have started paying attention to this, of course. So you have the German Supply Chain Act being announced, you have EU directives coming up, SEC regulations, etc. And as companies, you cannot get away with communicating about your sustainability strategy anymore without talking about supply chain. So main accreditors like B Corporation, CDP, etc., are really putting supply chains at the core of their evaluations. But supply chain sustainability, as you guys all know, is super hard, and it's hard for many reasons. It's difficult because we talk about more than just emissions, right? We talk about everything from child labor to deforestation, water stewardship, etc. And when you're evaluating your suppliers, you're looking across hundreds of different data sources that informs of different aspects of your suppliers. How do you take a B+ from one supplier, compare it with a 53 from another, compare it with a science-based target, et cetera, et cetera? It's just extremely difficult. And when you start engaging your suppliers through primary data collection, it's very difficult to actually get the responses back, and your suppliers are completely overburdened. And that's really why we created Responsibly. So Responsibly is what we call a data brain for responsible sourcing. There's really 3 key facets to what we do at Responsibly. The first thing is we want to be a central source of truth for information, sustainability-related information across your suppliers. And to do that, we have quite a lot of engines at work, but basically we aggregate all of the public information on your suppliers. We're able to intelligently scan websites, reports, etc. But we also allow you to synchronize internal data, engage your suppliers in a very supplier-friendly and targeted approach. But all that data is going to look differently, right? So as we talked about, your suppliers are going to be running on different standards, different methodologies, different data outputs, etc., making it very hard to actually make sense and compare suppliers for decision making. So we have an engine that basically transforms all of that into a uniform data model, allowing you to create an end-to-end evaluation of your suppliers. But very importantly, when we talk about evaluations, we don't believe we can get 5 procurement officers in the same room together and agree on the scope of sustainability. Supply chains are unique, companies are unique in where you are on your journey, so this evaluation is completely modular. You as a company can pick out the areas that are important to you, where you want to focus on now, phase in responsible sourcing, etc., and have the engine work according to that. What that ultimately means is that we create a space for your procurement teams to run through the end-to-end procurement process, from screening to onboarding to yearly evaluations, improvement, etc. And we give the leadership teams, both in procurement and sustainability, an overview of how sustainable the supply chain is, where the hotspots are, where to take actions, where to collaborate, etc., and ultimately allow you to execute supply chain sustainability at reduced cost and effort. So that's how we try to make every purchase in the world responsible. Thank you.
And thanks, last but not least, C-Trace.
Hi, everyone. We do it too with one mic, but we'll manage. So, do you ever wonder about the impact of your daily buying decisions on people and the planet? Let's look at it at the example of the chocolate industry, and specifically from 3 different angles. First of all, farmers often work under terrible conditions, and processes are non-transparent. If you take Ghana as an example, the share that farmers receive from the chocolate bar and the price that we pay for it has plummeted from 16 to only 6%. Second, we have the brands that lack visibility and at the same time are more and more put under legal pressure for their global supply chains. And then third, we have the consumers like you and us, for example, who want to take more conscious choices but are completely overwhelmed with the subject. But more than 70% of us would be willing to pay more for trustworthy transparency.
So what if there would be a platform that allows you to manage, prove, and communicate supply chain information? We are Anna and Kati, CEOs of C-Trace, and together with our team, we want to turn supply chain transparency into the norm. Our business app allows customers to map supply chains on product level, to prove sustainability claims with our impact framework, and also to collaborate with actors along the chain and share sensitive data, and trace products back to their origin.
As opposed to our competitors, we do not only look at where the data is stored. We actually look at where it comes from and what it really means. In fact, we are the first ones to prove fair payment to farmers in Ghana in the cocoa industry, and to not only trace every transaction, but to prove every single one of them before storing it irreversibly on an open and low-emission blockchain. Then, speaking about storytelling, and with a simple click of a button, our customers and partners can actually share that data through all digital channels. Just 2 days ago in Paris, we were able to win the SIA Impact Award for this project.
We founded in 2022 and kicked off our paid model Q4 last year. We work currently with 14 paying customers, including Germany's biggest vegan cheese alternative, Simply V, and for example, Coar, the supplier of Lindt and Sprüngli.
Yes, and now the question is, where do we go from here? So currently we are focusing on the German-speaking markets. But for us, that means a lot, because we started working in Germany, Switzerland, but now already have also clients in Luxembourg. And of course, then we also collaborate with partners in different developing countries with where our suppliers or the suppliers of our partners are located. Now, if you look at 2 of our target markets, the cocoa and coffee industries, they alone combine a global annual revenue of around 500 billion euros. Now, at this point, to scale our development, we are working with 5 mid to large-sized food companies from Germany, research institutes, because we can definitely not do this alone, and the Corporation for International Collaboration in Germany, the GIZ.
Raising our seed round this year, we are definitely ready to scale our team and impact. And yeah, if you want to go on a journey yourself, I think we all have to scan QR codes to vote, so you can practice already with this one. That's an example of one cacao journey of one of our clients that we mentioned earlier, Coar, and you can explore the journey of that coffee yourself.
Enjoy!
So thanks. You've seen 3 enthusiastic teams with 3 amazing pitches, I would say. So later on, you will be able to choose. So you see a QR code, and you will see the 3 parties, and you can choose one of them. And later on, you also will see 3 scale-ups, and you can also choose between the 3 scale-ups. So for now, I think that the story is clear. You know, we are in a transformational world, and we need some storytelling. So I think, you know, you have to be clear. You know, the future will be different, and we have to make changes. So be prepared.